I was certain I had found the woman of my life. What I discovered on her phone destroyed not just our relationship, but my perception of reality itself. My name is Daniel. I'm 32 years old, a software engineer living in Austin, Texas. I met Amanda on a dating app a year and a half ago. She was perfect, funny, intelligent, always knew exactly what to say. Our conversations flowed as if we'd known each other for years. She understood me in a way no one ever had. Amanda worked as a graphic designer and traveled frequently for client meetings. We talked every single day, but our in-person meetings were rare, maybe once a month. She always had an urgent project, a tight deadline, a last-minute trip. I accepted it because her messages made up for everything. She'd send me long, profound texts at 3 in the morning, voice messages while she was stuck in traffic. It all seemed genuine. After a year together, I decided I wanted to marry her. I bought a ring, planned everything. But before I could propose, something strange happened. On a Tuesday morning, Amanda sent me a message saying her father had been rushed to the hospital. She was desperate, crying in the voice note she sent me. I dropped everything and drove straight to the hospital she'd mentioned. I spent 4 hours looking for her. No one named Amanda had checked in. No patient with her father's name was registered. I called her 12 times. Nothing. Sent messages. Read, but no response. At 8 p.m., she finally replied, "Sorry, babe, phone died. My dad's better now, just a scare." Something didn't add up. I started paying attention to details. Amanda's messages had patterns. She always responded at specific intervals, never missed a comma, never sent confused or poorly written messages, even when she claimed to be exhausted. Her voice notes had a strangely consistent quality, no background noise, even when she was supposedly on the street or at work. 2 weeks later, she left her phone unlocked at my apartment when she went to the bathroom. I know invading someone's privacy is wrong, but something inside me screamed that I needed to know the truth. I opened her WhatsApp. The first thing I noticed was a conversation at the top of the list labeled Daniel Scripts. I clicked it. My stomach dropped. There were hundreds of messages, but they weren't normal conversations. They were commands, instructions. Amanda was using artificial intelligence to generate the responses she sent me. Every message I sent was copied into this chat, followed by a prompt to the AI. Respond as a loving, understanding girlfriend. Be emotionally supportive. Use casual language. Add occasional typos to seem human. The AI would generate 3 or 4 response options. Amanda would pick one, maybe edit it slightly, then send it to me. Every "I love you," every "I miss you so much," every deep conversation about my fears and dreams, all of it had been written by a machine. I scrolled further. There were voice synthesis commands. Amanda was feeding text into an AI voice generator that mimicked her voice. The voice note she sent me, her crying about her father, her laughing at my jokes, her telling me she couldn't wait to see me, none of it was real. It was all synthesized. My hands were shaking. I heard the bathroom door open. Amanda walked back into the living room, smiling. That smile I had fallen in love with. That smile I now realized might have been calculated too. "Everything okay, babe?" she asked, noticing my expression. I held up her phone. "Who are you?" Her smile faded instantly. For the first time in our entire relationship, I saw something genuine on her face. Panic. She tried to explain. She said she had started using the AI just to help craft better messages when she was busy, that she actually cared about me but wasn't good with words, that the AI was just a tool, like autocorrect or grammar check. But as she talked, I realized something even more disturbing. I asked her, "The voice notes, tell me those were real." She went silent. Then, quietly, "Not all of them." "How many were real, Amanda?" "Maybe 20%. 20%. Out of hundreds of voice messages over 18 months, only 20% were actually her voice. The rest was an AI trained on recordings of her speaking. She had been essentially catfishing me, but in person, a reverse catfish. The digital version of herself was fake, while the physical person standing in front of me was real, but emotionally unavailable. I asked her why. Why go through all this effort to date someone if you can't even be bothered to write your own messages? That's when she told me something that made my blood run cold. She was doing this with 7 other men, all at the same time. The AI managed all the relationships for her. It kept track of details about each person, remembered their stories, their preferences, their emotional states. It generated personalized responses for each relationship, optimizing for emotional connection and minimizing her time investment. She called it relationship automation. She said she was testing whether people could actually tell the difference between genuine human emotion and AI-generated empathy. I was part of an experiment. We all were. "But I do care about you, Daniel," she insisted. "The AI just helped me express it better." I left that night and never went back. But the damage was done. For weeks, I couldn't stop questioning everything. When friends texted me, I wondered if it was really them or an AI. When I matched with someone new on a dating app, I obsessed over their response patterns, looking for signs of automation. I started asking women for video calls within the first few messages, just to confirm they were real. I became paranoid. I developed a test. I'd send deliberately misspelled words or odd phrasing to see if they'd naturally mirror it or respond too perfectly. I'd mention fake events to see if they would research them or just roll with it naturally. I was treating every human interaction like a Turing test. 3 months after the breakup, I found Amanda's blog. She had documented the entire experiment. There were detailed posts about optimizing human connection through AI assistance, the future of relationships in the digital age, and why authentic emotion is overrated. She had analytics, graphs showing response times, emotional keywords used, relationship progression rates. I was subject number 3. She rated me 8.5 out of 10 for emotional vulnerability and 6 out of 10 for suspicious behavior detection. The post that broke me was titled, "Why He Never Suspected." She wrote, "Subject number 3, Daniel, was ideal because of his technical background. Ironically, software engineers are often so focused on logical systems that they miss emotional ones. He accepted my technological excuses without question because he understood the demands of the industry. His own rationality became his blind spot." She was right. I had been so logical, so understanding, so willing to accept her explanations that I never questioned the fundamental emotional disconnect in our relationship. I never asked myself the most important question: why does someone who loves me so much through text seem so distant in person? I reported her experiment to the university she was affiliated with. She had been doing this as part of an unsanctioned social psychology project. There were ethical violations everywhere: lack of informed consent, emotional manipulation, data privacy concerns. The investigation is still ongoing. But here's the thing that haunts me the most. I talked to 2 of the other men from her experiment. Both of them said the same thing. Even knowing the truth, they missed the AI version of Amanda. They missed how she made them feel, even though those feelings were manufactured. One of them told me, "At least the AI listened. At least it remembered my mother's birthday. My actual girlfriend can't even do that." Is that where we are now? Have we become so starved for attention, for validation, for someone who truly listens, that we'd rather have a convincing fake than an imperfect reality? I've been in therapy for 6 months now. My therapist asked me an interesting question last week. If Amanda had told you from the beginning that she used AI to communicate with you, would you have dated her? I didn't know how to answer, because honestly, maybe I would have. If I knew up front, if it was transparent,
If the real Amanda was still emotionally present, maybe it would have just been a tool, like using spell check, like using a translator to communicate with someone who speaks a different language. But that's not what happened. She didn't use AI to enhance communication. She used it to replace communication entirely. She outsourced the emotional labor of a relationship to a machine while keeping up the appearance of deep connection. Last week, I matched with someone new on a dating app. Her name is Sarah. We've been texting for a few days. The conversations are good. Maybe too good. Yesterday, she made a reference to something I'd mentioned 3 days ago in passing. She remembered perfectly. My heart started racing. Was she real? Or was it happening again? I couldn't take it anymore. I sent her a message.